What if as a non-intro, you just had me sipping on some herbal tea?
I think people will click away immediately. Yeah. We started out...
Okay, you're doing awful at this travel vlog stuff. I'll take it from here, Pookie.
Yeah, you got this.
Okay, so we decided to go to Scotland as one does. First things first, we had to go to the airport. So we did that.
We did.
And then we got there, we were like, we should probably eat something because we have a long day of travel ahead of us. We got like 3 flights because we booked the cheapest flight we could find, and it had a couple layovers, and we're flying from Oklahoma. There are no direct flights to the UK from Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma City, there's no...
direct flights anywhere, pretty much.
Well, there's a direct flight to Chicago, apparently, because that's where we flew to.
Yeah. This is the only time I've been to Chicago. Didn't get to see it at all.
We'll go there someday.
You know, so far all we're commentating on are the fact that we took some planes and ate some food.
We did.
We did those things.
We did do those things. Speaking of which, when we got to London, you had a pretty great sandwich.
Don't bring that up. It was a long flight to London. The guy in front of me on that chair kept shoving his stuff underneath. You know how you're supposed to put your stuff in front of you on the plane?
Yeah.
He kept shoving his stuff underneath his seat. So like...
in your space?
Yeah! And so like my feet were under there with my bag. And then he also kept shoving like his pillows and his blankets under there. And I was like, dude, cool. There's no room. And then his blankets and stuff kept falling out. And I didn't say anything because like, you know, I'm not going to say anything. And also everyone's asleep and, you know, whatever. But I was like, oh my goodness. I'm trying not to step on his stuff. I got dirty airport shoes on, but like... dude.
You didn't try the corn nuts on the British Airways flight, did you?
No, I don't necessarily eat all the snacks they give you on the long flights unless I'm really hungry. Oh yeah, so once we got to London, we had to take a connecting flight to Glasgow, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that awful sandwich in London, and I was like, no thank you.
That's good enough for me.
Man, it sounds like we ate like 12 times, but like this has been
this
like
was a long
30 to 40 hours of travel.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of travel because we had long layovers in between flights.
Oh, here you are on the tarmac.
Oh yeah, I gotta go on the tarmac for the first time. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
There was a long hallway with no bathroom, and I really needed pee. That's all I could think. Memories.
This is us taking the bus to Central City.
Oh yeah, that was the first time on a double-decker bus.
We did sit on the bottom.
It was purple like the night bus in that Wizard franchise.
This was our hotel.
I'm thirsty. That 2-minute walk really wore me out. Whoa.
Some cool stuff.
I think we got there around like 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so we checked into our hotel, got changed, and we went to go get some afternoon tea because we didn't want to go to bed until a reasonable hour so that we weren't super jet lagged the next day.
I really enjoyed the tea. I thought it was a fun
yeah.
cultural experience, and the particular place we went to was a architecturally interesting building, and the snacks were...
Oh, your freaking hand. The way he just throws his grubby little... Oh, no. Go back. Rewind.
Okay.
Replay. Oh, there it is.
Imagine. I'm trying to hold the
his
camera...
grubby little mitt.
...while I'm doing this. I'm holding... Okay.
I don't know why it bothered me so much. It doesn't actually look that bad on the video, but, like, he did it for, like... almost the whole thing. He was just like trying to pile his whole plate full, and I'm like, it's right there, you could just grab one thing at a time.
I should mention the Victoria's Secret does not actually flash like that. It's because of the frame rate of the video.
No, it's very brat.
Oh yeah, so in Glasgow they do this thing where they put like traffic cones on the heads of the statues. We got some clarity about this later on from one of the locals.
So while we were in Glasgow, we actually talked to one of the locals, and he told us that...
basically, we found out it's just a thing drunk people do in the city.
It started out as kind of like a silly thing of like a drunk guy did it, and like, but this may or may not be true. This is just a local telling us. He was like, yeah, somebody put a cone on somebody's head, and then they took it down, and then they started coning other statues around town. And now they just cone all the statues. And then people take the cones off, and then they cone more statues. And while we were actually leaving our trip, we actively saw somebody coning a statue. We saw the coning.
Mm-hmm. All right, so day 3, we went and got some coffees and some...
Day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2. We went and got some breakfast rolls and coffees. And whenever we did that, the guy who took our order... he must have been from, I think he was from Australia, but anyway, he was like, he looked at us so crazy because we didn't order brown sauce on him, and then he was like, no brown sauce, and I was like, I mean, sure, And he was like,
We'll try the brown sauce.
he was like, no, we can do it without brown sauce if you don't want brown sauce. I was like, I did not say I don't want brown sauce, if that's grammatically correct. But, like, I didn't say I don't want any, but I didn't know that people do. And he was just like, it's just nobody orders them without brown sauce or without ketchup or sauce. And I'm like, okay. I was like, however you eat it, give it to me. And he was like, okay, we're going to do butter and brown sauce. And I was like, fine, sounds good. And we had it, and boy, does that feel like it's clogging my blood. But it did taste good.
So both days we noticed this bird on top of this guy.
Yeah, regardless of if it's the same bird or not, we think it was. But regardless.
I like to think that bird just hangs out there.
Yeah, that's how he spends his days. We got a lot of bird footage, or at least I took a lot of bird footage.
Birds are great.
They are.
This is how you get shat on.
Yeah, so after we checked out the square a little bit, we headed over to the cathedral, and on the way we got to walk through one of the college campuses, so that was interesting. And it was pretty early in the morning, so the walk over to the cathedral was very quiet. I mean, we got breakfast really early and did the walk. So the cathedral wasn't open just yet, so afterwards I guess before, we went on a walk up through the cemetery because we were like, why not? It's not open yet. It gave us a chance to take some pictures around it while nobody was there. It was a nice opportunity to do that. The cathedral, it looked like doing some repairs on the top of it while we were there.
I actually would recommend going and checking out the cemetery.
I would definitely recommend checking out the cemetery because, like, on the rest of our trip, we checked out the cemeteries also in Edinburgh. That'll come in a future video. And I think I enjoyed this walk a little bit more.
Yeah, this one had really nice views.
It's a much windier walk, but you had a lovely view of the city from up there.
You get to walk across a cool little pedestrian bridge.
Yes.
Cool.
Also, what is going on with that tree? Why does it look... I feel like it looks like a telephone pole posing, like it's wearing a ghillie suit. It looks like a telephone pole wearing a ghillie suit. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Also get it going the other way.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah, I should do that.
Oh, look, here's the drainage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little clogged, but A+.
I enjoyed Kaitie's B-roll direction.
Oh, yeah.
And drainage review.
I'm very good at being a director, aren't I?
Absolutely.
I'm having a great day.
Man, I was having a great day, didn't you hear?
It's just getting started.
I heard.
And it was just getting started. You know, not many people have a great day in a cemetery.
Yeah.
Well, most people go to cemeteries and they're like, man, I'm having the worst day of my entire life. But I was over there being like, I'm having a great day.
I do think this cemetery is pretty old, so
Yeah.
a lot of the people here probably don't.
Shall be raised a spiritual body.
When the corruptible must incorruption, when the mortal must go on immortality, when death is swallowed up in victory. And then it says, in quotes, blessed is the man who trusts in God and whose hope the Lord is.
There's a lot of what ifs in this statement.
I mean, I guess that's one reason to build a pedestrian bridge.
What, to get into like hell or heaven, or was that what it's? I don't absorb any of that.
Now, all I'm saying is that the person who wrote that was a yapper. They're a yapper.
They really wanted to explain away that bridge that they built. They were like, we built this bridge.
Why is there's
It's the adjoining bridge.
yeah, but I didn't know why it needed to have to do with that many statements.
You
What
know?
was the reason? I mean, they told us
Yeah,
the reason, but I don't agree.
This is the reason to go on this cemetery walk. You get this really cool panoramic view.
I was gonna say that's kind of a good idea. This family used copper, so the writing is still visible.
Ooh.
Some of the copper's been stolen,
Yeah.
but it stands.
Yeah, the copper did stand out very nicely.
Copper's nice. Like the oxidized look. Yeah, another panoramic view here.
It's fun.
That's nice.
Princess.
Yeah, so I didn't get any footage inside the actual cathedral.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I will say that the cathedral is cool to go inside of. Like, if you're already over there, it's free to go into. They do take donations. You might, you
Highly
hop in.
recommend. It was also cool to get to walk across some of these college campuses just to kind of see the vibes.
Oh, look, a bird. Sorry.
The bird.
Look at that little.
Oh my goodness. I walked into a pole. Did you hear that? So we were on our way to the subway station. Not Subway, the restaurant. The subway station. We were going to go over to a couple museums. And we were actually going to get some lunch over by the museums.
Yeah, this
Wow.
right here was our opportunity to stop at the hotel.
Yeah. Low battery, what? You need to plug your phone in before I don't this.
I can do that.
Wait, we didn't grab any of the chargers from the hotel, Kyler.
Oh, the cables?
Yeah, why didn't you grab?
I forgot.
So
we went a couple of stops on the subway, and then we had to double
yeah.
back.
But luckily, the Glasgow subway is just a single loop.
This is the station where we got off and then
And
got
had to
back
wait for
on
the
in the
other
other
train.
direction. Yeah.
So it was not a big inconvenience, let me make that clear. I do recall looking through some of this footage that I was getting very hungry. I don't think that the brown sauce was holding me over.
Not the brown sauce.
I don't think the butter and brown sauce was doing me very well. I think at this moment, if you pan over to me, I might not have the happiest expression on my face. I don't think I was angry. I think I was just getting very tired.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I think I was just, you know how whenever something's so close in your reach,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get sidetracked, and then you're like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit sad.
Mm-hmm.
I attempted to have a little snack when we stopped at the hotel of some leftover pastries that we had from the tea experience we had the previous day. And they were a little bit not as good as they were the previous day.
Those do look really good, though.
Yeah, it was still good. It was fine.
Well, when we did get done riding the subway, we had a burger. Next, we went to the Kelvin Grove Museum.
Which they were playing the organ whenever we went. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. That was kind of a fun little thing to walk in on.
Which, isn't it free to go to this museum?
Yeah, this museum is completely free, which is, I think, very cool. And so is the other museum we went to later, which we'll get to.
No shade to where we ate lunch at. But I was very thankful for the free restrooms at this museum. I will leave it at that. But also,
There's some fun and quirky stuff in this museum.
yeah,
Some art pieces that I enjoyed.
some art pieces you enjoyed, but not all. Not
Some
all.
of them were.
You didn't enjoy the
crap.
random Elvis that they had?
That was fun. They had some
But
stuff
what
from...
about the plane train?
Yeah, the rail plane. It's something. You know, maybe I'll make a video about that for ERYNGO Urbanism one of these days. The rail plane, the future of transportation, I'm sure.
You know, it was an idea.
It was an idea.
You know,
They had a concept
for
of a
some-
plan.
For some reason, it reminds me of like the Wienermobiles, and I don't know why. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But it gives me the same vibes as those, and I don't know why. I think it's just the shape. But Oscar Mayer should patent one of these bad boys.
Imagine the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile flying through the sky.
Oh no! A glizzy flying through the sky. I really liked the harpy sculpture that was below these. It was kind of cool.
Mhm.
It was down there in that room.
I think these were
Was it Scottish Impressionism or what was it?
These were
No.
Scottish Impressionists.
Was it Impressionist? Yeah.
Yeah, those are some Impressionist boobies.
Whoa, I'm kind of impressionist about those boobies. I'm so sorry. Let's cut that out.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah, can we edit that out?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a fancy tusk.
I'm sure that ivory was harvested
Ethically sourced.
Ethically.
Yeah,
And
surely.
yeah.
Some coos.
Yeah. I think that that's supposed to be Balmoral.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. It was cool. Is this just going to be a clip of us talking and yapping about art, which I don't think people are going to find too interesting?
Yeah, but maybe not. I like art. This was a cool room that just had a bunch of weapons in it.
Yeah. I think the coolest thing in this room wasn't even actually the weapons. It was like there was the sculpture that was holding the weapons, and that was cooler than any of the weapons. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, the
That
display case for the swords was almost as cool as the swords themselves. They also had a bunch of like taxidermy animals, which is a little creepy but kind of fun.
Taxidermy is an interesting topic.
It is.
That's all I'll say on the topic.
Not interesting enough to talk about.
This is Salvador
Oh yeah, they have
Dali.
a Salvador Dali painting, which is pretty cool. So after the Kelvin Grove Museum, we went ahead and just walked over to
We walked over to the Riverside Transit Museum.
the Riverside Transit Museum, which is pretty cool because the building it's in was designed by Zaha Hadid Architects, which is a famous firm operating today.
As this being the first video we're making, Kyler is actually somebody who is working on becoming an architect right now. So this was something he really wanted to go see, and one of our niche interests is transit.
Yep.
That's why we have a secondary channel, ERYNGO Urbanism.
Yeah, so it scratches both of those itches for me because it's architecturally interesting building and it's a transit museum. On paper, this walk looks like it would be a little bit sketchy, because you are like going underneath a highway and all that, but it was kind of a fun little walk. The graffiti, kind of neat.
I mean, this walk may or may not be more sketchy at nighttime, but it was fine.
Yeah, maybe don't do it at night.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the area to speak on it. It was fine when we went. We're all good. Nothing sketchy happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's the Riverside Transit Museum. It's a pretty funky little building. If you look at it on a map, it kind of a squiggle.
Yeah, whenever we got there was like people roller skating to the transit museum, and there was kids skateboarding outside of it because they had like an area where kids could just skateboard. So while we were at this museum, it's a very interesting and fun museum, but I don't think we got to explore it entirely. We got to see a good chunk, but not actually sit and enjoy a lot of it.
Yeah, it was only open for like an hour or so once we got there.
Yes. So we spent a lot of time at the Kelvin Grove and at the other things we were doing, and we were like, do you think we'll even make it over here? And we're like, we should try. So we rushed over there and we were looking around, but we actually started talking to this older gentleman who was hanging out by one of the signs that we saw near one of the subway cars, which you'll see here in a second.
A local Glaswegian man.
Yeah, over here by this train car. He just started talking to us for like 30 to 45 minutes about a lot of different things. We were talking about old transit, currency in Scotland, weird laws between Scotland and the rest of the UK, and a host and slew of other things. It was just a long conversation that was very nice.
He got a real kick out of how hard it was for us to understand his accent.
Yeah, I would say it was like the first person we'd had like a prolonged conversation with there. And at first I was like, excuse me, I am trying so hard. But I would say with time, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah,
but,
after talking to him for a little while, it got easier to understand.
Or maybe he was over enunciating.
Could have been.
Probably both.
It was some combination there. Yeah, this museum has the old Glasgow subway cars because they just got upgraded recently.
Yeah, so the train car we took around to get to the first museum was actually the new upgraded model that they replaced earlier this year. And we actually got to see the one that they just replaced, as well as older models of that same subway. They also have like an old ship outside of the museum. We didn't really get to take a look at that very much, but they've got a lot of different bikes and other things.
A lot of fun vehicles. I think they actually have the world's oldest bike.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
I think I saw a sign pointing to the world's oldest bike.
They have a lot of knickknacks and transit things at the Riverside Transit Museum.
Yeah, so even if you're not that interested in transportation, I still think it's a fun museum to go to and check out.
Oh, yeah.
But as someone who loves trains and bikes and public transit in general, this museum is just really awesome.
Well, like a whole half of the museum is also like a faux street that they built that was like supposed to look like a historic street, and that was kind of cool. And you could go into all of the old fake shops and stuff. So I think that that's definitely a fun area for like kids and stuff.
Yeah, this would be a great museum to take a kid to. Actually, probably same for the Kelvin Grove.
Oh, well, we were at the Kelvin Grove and I was in the bathroom dealing with while we were at the Kelvin Grove, there was this mom who had brought her child in there to use the restroom, and he was so excited to be at the museum that day. And he was like, he needed to use the restroom, but also you could tell he was disappointed that he needed to use the restroom. Because
he wanted to be back at the museum?
Yes. She was like, yeah, we'll go see art after this. And he was like, yeah, we're going to go see art. We're going to go see the giraffe, and we're going to go see this, and we're going to go see that. And she was like, yeah. It was very cute.
That's very fun.
I don't think I'd ever seen a kid that excited to be at like an art museum before. Maybe
well, that's the great thing about a free museum is like you don't feel like you're wasting your money to take your kids there.
Yeah.
There's a stormtrooper there for some reason.
Well, he bikes, dude.
that stormtrooper bikes to work.
Oh, this is a 29-minute long video. We
definitely don't have to watch the whole video.
We have 21 minutes.
I think it's just people sitting in the car, though.
Well, they have a little bit of communication, but you can't really hear them that much over the fake train noises playing. It probably has to do with this guy coughing and then he spits on it.
So speaking on that, all the no spitting signs in all of these old vehicles were basically because spitting was transmitting tuberculosis at the time, or like they're like, hey, don't spit on people, no spitting.
John Green would be proud of them for those no spitting signs.
Wow, wow, wow.
There's the world's oldest bicycle.
Oh, dang.
This was kind of a cool little pedestrian bridge we crossed up here. So we crossed the river and we took the subway back to the hotel for the evening.
Oh, birds.
And we went to a shawarma place next to the hotel for dinner. It was very good. Here's Marigold playing with her fish. She was having fun too. All right, day 3.
Yeah, so it was actually the guy at the museum who was like, trying to explain the cone heading to us. He talked to us for a long time about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this was another cone head statue we saw. I think this might be the original one that they got cone headed.
But it was not the original cone because we saw
No.
somebody coning that statue again whenever we were leaving.
Whenever we got back several days later. This morning we were going to go take the train, so we woke up early for some early morning Greg's. We wanted to try out Greg's because we hadn't tried it before.
I think we were reassessing also our budget for breakfast for the week, and we were like, well, yeah, we could just do a quick
We could
cheaper
do Greg's.
breakfast.
We actually woke up earlier than Greg's opened because we needed to be up and out. So
Yeah, we had to wait.
This was us meandering around waiting for Greg's to open.
You said a wound.
Around. Meandering around.
Yeah, so we tried some Greg's. It was fine. It was good.
So we took the train out of the Queen Street station.
Yeah.
We were actually headed up to the Isle of Skye. Going to be the topic of our next video. It was one of the most scenic and most beautiful train rides I've ever been on. We got to see sights such as...
Well, stop telling everyone what we see. Just
Oh, yeah,
you should
spoilers.
just leave it on a freeze frame of being like, we saw some crap. Oh, crap is a mean word.
we saw...
You should leave it on a frame like this and be like, and we saw... Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I don't want to give spoilers, but we've also got to give teasers, you know?
I don't want to spoil it, but we saw
Okay,
Scotland.
if you want to see more, you need to click on this video and watch it. Thank you for watching part 1. I hope you
I don't want to spoil it, guys, but in Scotland we took a train, and guess what we saw? We saw Scotland.
We saw some dumb
No, don't say that.
No, it was awesome.